light and then really stretch out the rays, and that's going to work nicely. Now we can go into the colorize here, and I'm just going to go for one color, and I'm going to use the eye picker and just go for a color in that horizon, in that sky, and that's looking pretty good. Now what we can do now is grab that layer and move it up just in front of or behind the foreground element, and so therefore we get these light beams that are beaming right across the valley there. Now I don't really like what's happening up here on the horizon, and we can fix that. If I go back into this mountain ridge layer and switch off the simple choker, what we can actually do, instead of putting a simple choke on the top, I'm just going to delete it, and I'm going to put the choker on the bottom, on the mountain 06. And what I'll show you what that actually does. By putting the matte simple choke and winding it in the opposite direction, we're actually going beyond the original mask. And now if I come back into the master comp here, you'll see that I'm not getting that black edge along the mountain there. We've got a little bit less information, so I might have to just increase that choke a little bit more. That's looking pretty good, and that's going to give us a little bit more shine. Now we are getting some staging in the gradient there, and that's simply because our project is 8 bits, and we're going to change that to 16 bits, but for now, for speed purposes, we're just going to leave that at 8 bits for now. Okay, so that's our mountain ridge far. What I want to do now is do the exact same process, except I want to do it on the foreground, and I want to have it more of a shadow layer. Now that'll make sense in a moment. Just highlight the foreground mountain, Control D to copy it, go Layer, New, Solid, switch it to white, comp size is OK, and just move that down underneath the copy of the foreground mountain that we just created. And what we want to do is grab both those layers, layer, pre-compose, and we'll just call this, we'll call it foreground, foreground rim light is fine, and we'll open that in a new composition. And what we didn't do that we can do now is just set the alpha matte so that we have that as a white alpha matte there. Now same process as before. We want to grab both layers,